Exercise 26. Consider line M in the figure on the right. Line N is parallel to M and passes through the point -10, 7. Calculate the coordinates of S, which is the y-intercept of M. Okay. First thing we need to consider is that it's been given that line N is parallel to M. That information is telling us that if we know the gradient of line M, then that will be equal to the gradient of line N, with the gradient being y is ax plus b for line M. And if we can find out what that value is of the gradient of M, then we also have the gradient of N. Now remember, the gradient always is rise over run. So if we take a look at the graph here at the right, we're just looking for two grid points that can easily be read from the graph. For instance, this one here below, and here we have another grid point. If I then make a triangle saying I'm going to the right and I'm moving up, so I do a rise and a run, then I can see that my run is +1 and my rise is +3. So if I move 1 to the right, I go 3 up. That means I can fill in 3 over 1, and that means that the gradient for line M is 3, and that also means that the gradient for line N is 3. Now N will have a formula that will say y is equal to gradient times x plus the b of line N. And we already know that here at the place of the gradient we can write down the 3, so I get 3x plus bn, and that will be the formula for line N. Other information that is given to us is that it will pass through point -10, 7. So if it passes through that point, I'm going to write down that information. It goes through -10, 7. And if I combine that with what we already have of the formula, I know that when x is -10, that my y has to be 7. If I fill that into the formula, I know that the y has to be 7 if x is -10, so 3 times -10 plus b, the y-intercept of line N. And that means I can now calculate the value of b. 3 times -10 is of course -30. Still has to be equal to 7. So that means -30 plus bn is equal to 7, and that means that the b will be having a value of 37 by adding 30 both left hand side and right hand side. Okay, that means that the formula for line N will be y is equal to 3x plus 37. Okay, what were they asking us? They were asking us calculate the coordinates of S, which is the y-intercept of N. Well, the y-intercept, the y-axis, that means x has a value of 0. And if x has a value of 0, I get a y of 3 times 0 plus 37. And that means that the y value in that case is 37. So that means, this is the x of point S, the y of point S is 37. That means that S will have the coordinates 0, 37.